Hi, this is Mandy Chopra here at the Titans event in March 2022, and I'm here with our newest sponsors, JNP from High Wycombe. Hi Ben.
Hi.
And hi Jamie.
Hi there.
So we're really lucky to have them on board as our sponsors. So tell us a little bit in a nutshell, what does JNP do?
Do you want to start, Jamie?
Well, I can talk certainly about the Land and New Homes business. So I'm the Land and New Homes manager. We're market leaders in our area in South Bucks, both in terms of instructions and sales. We'll generally sell around somewhere between 170 and 200 new homes a year from our new homes office in High Wycombe. So yeah, it's fairly strong.
Fantastic.
In addition to that, we have residential second-hand sales and residential lettings in-house, as well as property management. So my role at JNP is I oversee the whole lettings operation for the business. So we look after 1,500 landlords in the High Wycombe area, so quite a large portfolio that we're looking after on behalf of our clients, and it's continually growing. With legislation changing all the time, we're finding that more and more landlords are putting their rental properties in our hands because it's not something that they want to deal with. So
yeah, absolutely. So how are you guys finding the market? How's 2022 started for you, for JNP?
From my point of view, it's been a little bit slower in terms of new home sales. We're about where we were this time last year, I guess, but it's certainly slowed down from kind of last summer to today. The last month has picked up a little bit more again. We're getting some smaller sites, some land opportunities coming to us as well, which is good. So yeah, fairly strong, I would say, in terms of new home sales.
So supply has been restricted, hasn't it? I mean, I feel supply, because I've been looking for sites myself.
Yeah, I mean, certainly sites are difficult to come by. We're getting a few smaller sites through to us that come directly to me. We've also got, we're owned by a company called LSL, which are a nationwide company, and we've got land directors working in our area for them that will pick up the bigger sites. So yeah, there's not much around at the moment. Planning's difficult. Build costs are going through the roof, so it's not an easy time to be a developer, I'd say.
So in terms of land then, do you normally take land on as with planning, without planning?
Either or, yeah.
Either or,
yeah.
And any specific sizes or?
So the smaller stuff tends to come directly to me in the office. If there's anything sizable, then it would tend to go to a guy called Nick George, who is part of the LSL group, and then Nick would then feed it back to us.
And how are you finding the first-time buyer, the sales, like when you take on?
Sales-wise, I think if you looked at last year, I think we sold, in 2021, we sold 184 units. I probably could count on one hand how many investors we had in amongst those. And again, there aren't many of those buyers that weren't using Help to Buy. So the first-time buyers market in new homes, I mean, having said that, most of the units we had, in fact, all the units we sold last year were flats, so that kind of leads to more first-time buyers, I guess, using Help to Buy.
So do you feel that flats are a bit of an oversupply as compared to houses?
I wouldn't say so.
No?
We need more houses. If we could get more houses, it'd be great. But we're still selling good numbers of flats. I don't think the market's saturated yet.
Yeah, because I think developers, small developers like myself, always get nervous. If there are too many flats, I was going to sell.
I don't think there is. I mean, if you looked at the current market compared to even 18 months ago, there was one scheme in High Wycombe from Inland Homes of 200 units. They've all sold now, and there isn't anything really coming through. So yeah, I wouldn't say there's an
oversupply.
No, not
brilliant. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
And what about lettings?
So yeah, lettings has been full on for the last kind of 5 years really, but what we have found is over the last 12 months, our supply's gone down and down and down because tenants are staying longer. And what that's done is it's driven prices up. So we're finding at the minute that there's a huge demand for property. Every rental property that comes to the market fresh, or a tenant moves out and moves on and comes back as a remarket, the interest is phenomenal. So an example, within 30 minutes on one last weekend, we had 17 viewings booked in half an hour, and we ended up achieving £250 over asking price. So from that point of view, if you can get this good stock, there's a massive market out there. So it's a good, some positive news for landlords for once, that rents are going up, which is helping offset some of the costs that they've had to deal with over the last few years. So now is definitely a good time to consider the buy-to-let again, and we are starting to see those investors creeping into the marketplace again as well.
It's interesting, guys. And so what would you say is like JNP's sort of USP, as it were?
So I would say the reason that I've been with JMP for 13 years is I'm quite passionate about the company is because it's one of those brands that is local. It's very much kind of family-run business, but it's got to a level now where we've got that financial backing and we've got that corporate backing by LSL. So we've got the land and new homes offering that is kind of growing all the time. The lettings offering is growing. So for me, it's about having that personal touch, tailoring the kind of service to individual clients rather than having a really corporate approach, but with that kind of corporate kind of backup that, you know, from a job security
from a system point of view, from
systems and compliance, it's a fantastic kind of setup.
I think it's a great offering actually. Yeah, so just to quickly recap then, you're covering pretty much all of South Bucks then?
Yeah, we go as far as, from a new homes point of view, we go as far as Aylesbury in the north to kind of Marlow, even into Maidenhead in the south. And lettings is pretty much the same, I guess.
Yeah, so South Bucks kind of all the way up to Beaconsfield, down to Amersham, Chesham, Berkhamsted borders,